Well, here we are at the beginning of the year. There's all kinds of things going on. You've had great parties. You've possibly overate a little bit. Maybe you didn't. But we've got help because Adam Britt is with us, a registered dietitian at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and also a registered
certified diabetes educator.
Certified diabetes educator, which is really cool to have somebody like that you can talk to. And Adam, thanks so much for being with us. So let's talk about what's happening now. Okay, so we exploded ourselves up over the holidays, and we talk about if you gain 2 pounds a year for 10 years, before you know it, you're 20 pounds overweight. So what's the secrets? Are there secrets?
The real secret mainly is consistency. It's just choosing some healthier lifestyle options and being consistent with it. That's going to be the primary item. There's a lot of fad diets that are available out, that people will talk about and follow. And to be honest, no matter which one you pick, usually they work, at least for a time, because you have a consistent eating habit change and you're eating healthier than you normally would. And so making some reasonable goals, some healthy changes, and being consistent with it, that's going to be the key, the secret to sticking to it long term. Consistency
is important, of course, in everything we do in our life, basically.
Yes,
but, you get these things, you see these, lose 8 pounds in 8 days, 15 pounds in 15 days, and people say, well, I'm going to just get back down to where I was, before the holidays, and then I'll be okay. But that's not what we're talking about, is it?
Yeah, those are very popular, and of course the idea of making huge progress in a short amount of time is very attractive. I mean, that's a great concept. People really latch on to that, and one of the things, there's a couple things to keep in mind with that. First of all, you are correct in that it's not really consistent. It's something that you do temporarily, and then after a few weeks, usually what people find is that old diet yo-yo. So they'll lose a bunch of weight with one of those tools, and then they'll eat what they normally do and they'll gain it back, and then they try to lose it again, so you'll see that yo-yo going back and forth. So that consistency, as you mentioned, is not there. The second thing is sometimes those can be a little bit more dangerous depending on your healthcare situation. So talk to your doctor or your dietitian to see if it would be a reasonable option for you to even use those, because there can be some negative side effects with those as well.
Yes, and something else that always worries me about those kind of things, but about losing weight, period, is that we have a tendency to want to take the shortcut. We have a tendency not to want to form a plan. And how important is having a plan, and how long should that plan be?
Well, really, the plan needs to be a lifestyle change. Any change, any improvement that you can make to your health, it's only going to last as long as you're willing to make those efforts. And so making a lifestyle change, changing your normal habits, is going to be the most important key. And it doesn't have to be a huge change, right? In fact, one of the things that we oftentimes encourage people to do is to find small, reasonable changes that you can make that aren't a huge issue or concern. We're talking about things as simple maybe as your New Year's resolution, right? If you start off making a small, manageable goal of, hey, I'm going to have one additional vegetable every meal, something small like that. That's not a life-shattering event if you made that change. Or maybe saying, I eat fried food, or I eat sugar way too much. Let me cut down on those servings, those portions of dessert, or maybe I'll only have dessert a few days a week instead of having it after every dinner time. So little changes like that can really go a long way, because when you think of the calories that you save long term by making just a few changes, every week, it really does add up.
What about and I'm sure that I'm guilty of this, and I know a lot of my friends are guilty of this, whether they want to admit it or not. You have dinner around 5 or 6, 7 o'clock. Come around 9:30, you're watching the old TV shows, and you just want to get a little snack, And so should we cut those? And I hate cutting those out because they are so tasty, of course.
Sure.
So what's the alternative there? When you get to that 9:30 thing, maybe you're going to be up till 11, o'clock. So that's that 9:30 crave. What do you do there?
That's a good question. And a lot of people do have that same idea, right? They're like, well, man, I just want to have a little something.
Yeah.
So there's a few options. And really, everyone is different. So this is where making those personal goals, those personal decisions is going to come into play here. So let's just say that you want a snack and you love something salty, all right? And you're like, well, man, I really want to cut down the calories. Well, you got a few options. One option is you could just reduce the amount that you eat. Some people do well, just saying, well, I'll just eat I'll eat a portioned size, and maybe they'll take popcorn, for instance, and they'll put it into a small container. They'll just have that small container, and they'll be done with it. Other people will say, oh, I can't do that. I can't stop once I start. That's not reasonable. So that might not be a good goal for them. So maybe other people are like, you know, what I really like is just that saltiness. And so I'm going to do some, I don't know if you've ever tried to make some homemade kale chips, okay? So it's just literally kale, okay? And you can find the recipes online. You just bake the kale with some salt and some olive oil or something on there. Tastes really good. It's got that little salty kick to it. But clearly you're going to be saving a lot of calories than if you were just eating bags of chips. And so there's options like that may work for some people, but others may say, oh man, kale chips, that sounds disgusting. I'd rather do something else entirely.
Well, it certainly does.
You know, you might be surprised. Try it sometime.
I will. Well, what about fruit?
Yeah. Fruit can be an awesome option if that's you know that you crave. A lot of people crave a sweet or a salty at night. Yeah. Fruit's always a great option.
Yeah. Are there any fruits stay away from? I mean, banana, orange, tangerine, the little cuties, and all these. There's all kinds of things that are very, very sweet, high in sugar.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And that is a question that people are concerned about a lot as well. And I'm hesitant. I'm always hesitant to avoid a fruit or a vegetable just because they all have their own health benefits. What you may want to consider, though, is portion sizes. Bananas, our typical bananas that you buy in the supermarket, them big old, that's 2, maybe 3 servings, depending on how big the banana is. So you may have more than you think just eating that one option. So consider the serving sizes, but yeah, fruit, any fruit that you like with the reasonable portions. Moderation is kind of that key word that people like to use. With the appropriate portions, have any fruit that you enjoy.
And all of this has to do with wanting to take care of yourself. Let's just talk about that for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds. So
sure.
As much time as you need.
You got it. Yeah. So wanting to take care of yourself, and especially with New Year's resolutions, there's 2 different things that people oftentimes focus on. One thing that they'll be focused on is, okay, I want to lose this weight, and that is valuable in itself. And so that weight loss, the key areas for that weight loss that's going to come in is going to be reducing the amount that you eat, maybe the amount of the sugary foods or the amount of the fried food, really cutting back, getting only the calories that you need. So that's the easiest way to get healthy in that way, right? To reduce that weight. The other thing, though, because that's usually the only thing we think about, right? Is, okay, I want to lose weight, I'll be healthy. But that's not all there is to it. There's also the importance of adding in those healthier foods. And so making those changes, having that 1 vegetable per meal or increasing it to 2 vegetables once you get that, so different things like that. Making those changes will give your body a number of different nutrient, vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, benefits that will help you to be healthy long term, that adding in fruits and vegetables may not make you lose weight, but it's going to make you stronger. It's going to help you long term to be healthier so that your body can more efficiently lose weight.
One last thing, exercise.
Oh, yes.
Where do we go?
Where do we go with the exercise? Yeah, that's one we haven't even talked about. So again, very personal, depending on your goals, depending on where you are. Some people have a higher capacity for exercise. Always talk to your doctor, your healthcare provider, just to make sure that there's no, heart conditions or things that might stop you or prevent you from some type of exercise program. However, starting where you're comfortable and then incrementally, again, lifestyle change, right? So if you just start off with, I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. That's an easy, simple way to start it. It may even be something I'm gonna start walking during my lunch break, 30 minutes on my lunch breaks at work. So some small change. And as you get going, and you know that you're strong enough to handle those exercises, you can do a little bit more. You may want to do more physically focused workouts in the gym. People often have to talk about muscle. Muscle actually will help you lose weight in the long run. The more muscle you have, the easier it's going to be to lose weight over time. And so strengthening yourself, you won't accidentally become a bodybuilder, I promise you. But a lot of people are like, I don't want to work out because then I'll gain muscle. That doesn't happen by accident. So building a little bit of strength, building a little bit of that muscular capacity will help you stay healthy and stay fit in the long run, and also help protect you against injury, especially with older individuals who are worried about falling. Muscle work can be very valuable in those ways. I will mention mention this. Usually, weight is not lost in the gym. Weight's lost in the kitchen. But overall, long term, you will stay healthier and stronger and at the right weight longer when you incorporate those exercises beyond just the nutrition changes there.
Well, Adam, thank you again. Great information, always great information from Blue Cross. You can go to the website, get all kinds of information there. And Blue Cross is always looking to keep you healthy.